Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I've been hearing a lot of talks about Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people were talking about the fight potentially taking place in May. We know that Canelo fights on the Mexican holidays in May and in September. Well, it's 2025 and Happy New Year, by the way, to everybody. First video of 2025. A lot of rumors about May, but with May only being 4 months away, I feel like if the fight is gonna happen this year, it's really just the negotiations starting to kick up now, and the fight would not take place in May, but in September, if it's gonna happen in 2025. And to be honest with you, if you look at Terence Crawford, his age, even though Canelo is younger than Terence Crawford, he got a lot of wear and tear on his body, and he's been in the game for a long time. So I personally believe that if this fight is going to happen, this year is probably the best window or opportunity for the fight to actually happen. You look at the fact that Terence Crawford has since moved up in weight, and we know Canelo is 168. That's where he's at, right? So, and Terence Crawford has openly talked about being willing to go up to 168 and fight Canelo. So, all things considered, this is probably the best time for this fight to happen. I think Terence Crawford is still sharp, in great shape. We know how Terence Crawford carries himself outside of the ring. We know how Canelo Alvarez carries himself, always in fantastic shape. So I think these guys are both at the top of their game. People will say, well, Terence Crawford, 37 years old, but it's a different type of 37. I mean, just look at what Floyd Mayweather did to Canelo Alvarez when he was 36 years old. In my opinion, that's one of the best performances that Floyd Mayweather has ever put on. I don't think he's ever been as sharp and, as fluid, as accurate with his shots, as cerebral. You feel me? Like, maybe he's been a little bit more athletic when he was 23, 24, 25, but I didn't see any drop off in athleticism in that fight with Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez at 36 years old. But that's just a testament to how you take care of yourself throughout your career so you can position yourself to have longevity in the sport. And I think Terence Crawford is in that same boat. And speaking of Canelo Alvarez, I mean, Canelo has been in some tough fights. As far as, like, he's fought top flight guys, elite fighters, right? Now, people might say, well, he didn't fight these guys at a certain time in their careers and he cherry picked, and a lot of that may be true. But the point that I'm making is that Canelo has taken good care of himself as well. And he hasn't been in a whole lot of crazy wars to where he's got beat up. We never seen Canelo Alvarez get dropped. We never really seen him visibly hurt outside of the fight versus, who was that? Miguel Cotto's brother, right? So we never really seen Canelo just take a whole lot of damage and beating. So this is the perfect time for these guys to fight before you start to see that downside. Because remember, Canelo just said a couple of fights ago, nobody beats this version of Canelo. What that tell you? That means that he feels like he at the top of his game. He was just coming off a hand injury, overcoming the hand injury. He has since then beat Jermell Charlo. I think it was after that fight is when he said that. He beat Jermell Charlo. He beat Jaime Munguia. He beat Edgar Berlanga. That's another thing that put Canelo in a different conversation than these other guys. It's the activity. That's how he's able to stay so sharp and always at the top of his game. And Terence Crawford, though he hasn't been as active in terms of having fights in the ring, and when you get to the age of Terence Crawford, you don't necessarily have to have a whole lot of fights in the ring on a consistent basis. Though as a fan, I would love to see him fight more. He older now, he know what it takes to get his body ready to be prepared for a fight. So this is the best time. These guys are arguably the two top of the top when it comes to boxing. If you break it down from a skill standpoint, experience, resume, accomplishments, moving up and down different weight classes, does it really get any better than Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez? Does it really get more intricate and challenging and more of a daunting task when you talk about stepping into the ring with a fighter than it does with these two guys? Because you can't really match up Terence Crawford with anybody in and around his weight class and be like, Terence Crawford can't beat him, or he don't have a chance, or this guy just gonna run through Terence Crawford. You can't say that. You can't match Canelo Alvarez up with anybody in and around his weight class and just say off the bat that Canelo can't beat him. This guy gonna run through Canelo. You can't say that, because these guys have been proven throughout their careers with the resume, and then on top of that, which is the most important thing, that the film, what you see in the fights, the skill set, the film, the things that these guys can do in the ring, the talent, the ability. You got two phenomenal counterpunchers, two guys who are masters at setting traps and leading you into a shot, into a vulnerable position that they could easily take advantage of based off of their skill set, experience, and ability. You have two guys that have punching power. They done showed you they can knock you out with one shot. They done showed you they can beat you up. Two guys with good hand speed, defense. Canelo got the upper body head movement. Terence Crawford is decent with the upper body, but he got the foot movement as well. So I would give Canelo the edge on upper body movement on defense, and give Terence Crawford the edge with the foot speed ability to evade shots and different things like that. And both of these guys can punch between your shots. Terence Crawford is a master at that. Canelo Alvarez really like to, let you get your shit off, and he'll catch you in between your shots too. Like, these guys really can do everything. I think this is the absolute best fight that could possibly be made in the sport of boxing. Considering all weight divisions, considering all skill sets, the experience, everything that we've seen. Now, there's other fighters that we can match up, and just based off of raw talent and ability, who really ain't proved shit yet, where you can say, oh, this might be the best fight. But I'm talking about guys that are proven, guys that we already know who they are. That no matter, like, when they step in the ring, you know what to expect. I know what to expect from Terence Crawford when he get in the ring. I know he ain't gonna lay down like no hoe. You feel what I'm saying? I know Terence Crawford, when push come to shove, he gonna let them bitches fly. You feel what I'm saying? I know that when you back Terence Crawford into a corner, shout out to Currency. You know what I'm saying? Currency had this line in the song. He said, back the coolest cat in the corner, watch him turn into a junkyard bulldog on you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I know what's gonna happen when you back Terence Crawford in the corner. He gonna turn into a junkyard bulldog. He gonna go crazy. He gonna let off the offense. You feel me? You seen what he did versus Madrimov when the fight was close in the championship rounds. Terence Crawford was letting them bitches go. I know what Canelo Alvarez is gonna do when faced with adversity. Now, we have seen Canelo gas out in fights, and i.e. the Dimitri Bivol fight, where I don't know if he really gassed out or if he was just like, damn, I can't penetrate his defense. I can't really do shit with this dude. Let me just coast and just not get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? But we seen enough of Canelo Alvarez to know that he has the tools to change a fight at any moment. That's what makes this fight so great. Now, the elephant in the room is the weight difference, right? Now, you look at the size, both guys 5'8". Well, Canelo like 5'7", 5'7.5". I think Terence Crawford is a true, legitimate 5'8", with longer reach than Canelo, but Canelo is a heavier guy naturally. I think the athleticism edge goes to Terence Crawford, but Canelo has maybe the strength and the natural power edge. Hand speed, it goes to Terence Crawford. Reflexes goes to Terence Crawford, in my opinion. But again, Canelo is a little bit younger, even though he got all this tread on the tires. I think it's so many different variables that ultimately balance out and can give us an even fight despite the huge difference in weight. You know what I'm saying? And I think with Terence Crawford being at this age in his career, bruh, 37 years old, I've seen a scale where Terence Crawford stepped on and he weighed 170. So I know that don't necessarily mean where you go to 168, you still in boxing shape. It's different. But I believe that Terence Crawford, given one night, one fight at 68 versus a guy who is 5'7", who is a great fighter, who has beat up motherfuckers that's 6'3". You feel what I'm saying? Canelo, if anybody ain't showed you that size ain't everything, Canelo Alvarez done showed you. Because damn near everybody he fight, he whooping on their ass, and they way bigger than him as far as height and shit like that. So we know that Canelo done defied the laws of physics. You feel what I'm saying? But that being said, I think Terence Crawford has a little bit of that ability as well to be able to negate the weight difference and show you that the skills, the experience, and the toughness, it means something. Feel what I'm saying? So if you ask me if I had my last dollar and I had to spend it on a boxing match and there was only one fight that I could spend that money on, it would be Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. In this day and age, right now, 2025, it would be Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. This fight will undoubtedly have huge historic implications and put the winner in the GOAT conversation. Now, Terence Crawford, if he go up and you beat Canelo Alvarez at 168, whether you beat him on the cards or you stop him, if he stops him, he's the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. Feel what I'm saying? In my generation, from the fighters that I've seen live, that motherfucker gotta be the GOAT. You feel me? But you go up there and you win, bro, you in the conversation, dog. One could argue that he's in the conversation right now. You feel what I'm saying? So this is a great fight. I think it's contrary to popular belief, Canelo does have things to gain from this fight. If Terence Crawford accepts it, knowing the type of fighter that he is, a guy that don't really make excuses like that in terms of competition and who he fight and being willing to step up, I think Canelo will get his credit for this fight. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it's the name. At the end of the day, when Canelo retires and the people look at his resume, they look at his box rep, they look at the name on that resume and they say Terence Crawford and they got a W by it, that's huge, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How do y'all feel about a Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight? Is this a fight that you believe is meaningful or worth it, given the weight difference? Or can you look beyond that as a boxing fan and see and, you know, behold what we have in front of us is potentially the two best fighters, most proven fighters in the sport today. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.